Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it. What's up, Warriors? Welcome back to the show. Terry, it's good to be back with you, my friend. I had a rough week, but it's good to see your face.
Should we talk about it or another time?
It's okay. I mean, that's the weather. It's just, normal stuff, but nothing really, just like all of us, man. Sometimes we just have weeks where just feel like garbage.
Dude, I
So
get it,
nothing
man.
too deep.
I get it, man. I validate what you're going through. Again, people just see smiles, they don't
Yeah.
know what's going on, man. But I hope you're doing okay, bro. I hope you're not just throwing it under the
Yeah.
rug.
No, 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 no. I work through it. It's just I'm a little drained energetically because I had a lot going on. I had a whole lot going on, and sometimes you just push yourself a little too hard, even if it's for a good reason, but you pay the price ultimately. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. But I'll be all right. It was for a good reason. Just a
I,
little overworked. That's all.
I feel like that's kind of a BS answer, but we'll talk about it after, bro. Just push through this.
We'll make it another episode.
Oh, exactly, man. So
So
yeah.
I hear we have one heck of a guest today. I'm super excited because I know just the presence that this person has on social media. So why don't you clue me and everybody in who we got this week?
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm really thrilled to have her on today. First of all, she's someone who's unapologetically herself without pretenses, man. It's crazy. She courageously lets go of her pride and she embraces the
That's
imperfection in
good.
her life. Yeah, man. If you see her videos, you're like, what's going on? You're too young to be like this. And I don't mean you're too young to be sick.
Yeah, I
I
have seen a few of them.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool, man. And she goes by Bumble Pree. I know her first name is Pree. She's paving the way for others to be the same. Because after 15 years of having MS, I'm finally getting comfortable with being myself. But then, like I said about other guests, she puts me to shame, bro. Like
It's not a
she
competition, dude.
I know, man, but I'm trying to be vulnerable for other people, and I realize people gravitate towards you when,
Right.
you show that side of yourself, but she embraces it at its max. So, bro, get ready for a raw, honest conversation with her, and hopefully it'll encourage others to be
I love it.
authentic. You know what I mean? I'm sure we're going to be interrupting each other a lot. So, I don't think it's going to be an interview based episode. It's going to be a lot of just ranting and talking, and let's see how it goes. Awesome, Nick, Nick.
Bree, good to meet you.
Hello.
Dude, I have pages of notes written, and it's all over the place. It's like the way my mind works. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I'm gonna be confusing a lot of people today.
Oh, Terry, I did the exact same thing.
Nice, nice. I'm sure I'm gonna come back to the notes after and be like, oh, I didn't even say this. I didn't even say that. I have so much stuff to say, and I don't. I love. I saw the episode that you were on MS Mindset with Liam, and I watched it like 3 times because I didn't want to make it another episode just like his because I respect him too and he does a good interview with you. So let's go. So you were diagnosed when you were 19 and you had issues before. I'm going all over the place. And Nick, please feel free to structure me because sometimes I'm, crazy. But you had an incident. We're going to get personal right from the gate. You had an issue when you were 14, 15.
It did.
Is
No,
this
I
too
didn't.
personal?
No, I never. It wasn't when I was 14 or 15.
Do you know what I'm talking
I was
about?
18, but I was like, I don't know where the 14 and 15 came from.
You had a tattoo that you drew yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
Okay, no, that was the tattoo I drew on myself. That wasn't what I drew on myself. It was actually the word hope I cut on my wrist because I was bullied a lot in high school and I was just really depressed. And then I ended up getting a tattoo of it when I was 20. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you did that, and when you originally scarred it in your skin, um, were you trying to damage yourself because of what you're going on in? And this is before your diagnosis. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's like I wasn't trying to hurt myself. I just needed that reminder to just not be so suicidal and just have those thoughts going through my head. So I just wanted that word that would just really stick out to me. And then when I turned 20, I wanted to remember being a teenager, but in a good way. And because I was going through MS too, I was like, what's one word that would mean the world to me? And I was like, it's hope. So I got that word tatted on that same wrist. I cut it on my hand. And it just, every time I look at it, honestly, it just makes me feel better that I'm still here. But yeah.
I
Do
have
you?
courage. When I got diagnosed, similar thing, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't think I have the courage to do it myself. I know that wasn't yourself, but see, even, oh, and your
Honestly, I
tattoo.
thought it was a work of art. I know it sounds a little crazy, but that's just how I saw it at the time.
Dude, no, no, no. Yeah, I get it.
Sure, absolutely. And whatever it takes to help you get out of that mindset is
Yeah,
whatever it takes, right?
yeah, exactly.
So tell me about you're a teenager and all of a sudden, how do you get shackled with an MS diagnosis that early? What was your symptom that sparked the whole thing?
So, this kind of goes like, yeah, a backstory of this. So, I'm gonna get into university as well. So, when I was in high school, I didn't really notice any symptoms I was going through, but the one thing I was struggling a lot with was my memory. But I honestly thought I was just an airhead and that I was just stupid, and maybe that's why I was having trouble. But then in grade 12, I kind of had a harder time with like I was just very clumsy. And with being clumsy, I also thought maybe it was just in my head. I was like, it's fine. Maybe I just need to take my time with walking and all of that stuff. So I let it go up until I was in my first year in university. At this point, I was 17. And when I was 17, I noticed that walking to my classes started to become a little bit more difficult. And I honestly thought it was just because that jump from high school to university, it's a huge jump, right? And when I went into university, it's like, in terms of academics, it's a lot more higher than in high school, because in high school, teachers would always let things go, but professors would never do that at university. Um, sorry, I also forgot the question.
I love that. I love that we start that right away because I forget so many times. And anyway, yes, totally. What was your question, Nick?
It was we were talking about the first symptom where you thought there was something that you should be paying attention to. Um, so when did it get to the point where you're like, man, my memory is not great and I can't really walk, so I need to go see somebody?
Honestly, it was university because in university you can't fail anything or else you're pretty much screwed if you do. I just couldn't, when I would study, I just couldn't memorize anything while everyone else in my class were able to study for an exam or a test a couple of days in advance. I was just there trying to remember that one sentence that I just couldn't remember. And I'm like, okay, something is kind of wrong with me because even walking to my classes was really difficult. And my incontinence also kicked in too. So then at this point, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. I need to go get checked out. So I got it
Mm.
checked out with my family doctor, and my family doctor told me I was fine. He gave me some blood tests to do, and none of it was alarming or anything like that. Nothing, it didn't really show anything wrong with me, basically. So he kind of let it go, and he's like, just come back to me if it gets even worse. And I was like, no, but you don't understand. I have a hard time walking after 30 minutes. And I think I sounded really crazy to him too, because I was really young. At this point, how old was I? In first year of university, I was 17. But yeah, so it's like around 18. I just felt like, honestly, being young, I just felt like no one was taking me seriously because it was like this young person doesn't know what she's talking about. It's probably just in her head. And it was just really frustrating because it's like I know my body and I understood the struggles I was going through. It just wasn't normal. And then the incontinence also took a lot out on me. And also, I don't even know if I answered your fucking question,
No,
but
you're fine. You're answering it.
okay.
No,
You're
you
great.
did.
Yeah.
Absolutely
No.
did. And
Uh,
you know what? And that's a lot of things to get dropped on you at one time. I mean,
Oh yeah.
any one of those things would have been damaging to, your ego ego or what you're trying to accomplish. So how much did it impact your time at university? Were you able to stay and complete your studies?
Oh, yes, I did. I didn't just get one university degree, I
Okay.
got two. And it made me feel good because it made me feel like I could accomplish anything, even while having a disability. So it made, yeah, I was able to do that. And then I just, yeah.
In
Um,
in in one of your videos, I saw the two graduate certificates or
yeah,
degrees, and I'm like, oh, did she finish her school? I can't believe you finished. And I got diagnosed. I think, yeah, I'm gonna guess you're around 28 now. Okay, and I got diagnosed at that age.
yeah.
Dude, I don't know how I would have done if I got diagnosed at 17. I I I went to university. I didn't even finish because I was having issues, and now I'm like, oh, was it because of the MS? But I'm sorry to say this. I'm so glad I didn't get diagnosed at that age because no one would have believed anything that I was going through. So the
Oh, yeah.
struggles that you went through must have been real. Yeah, no one's
It
validating you.
I feel like for me, I feel like things happen for a reason. I know some people don't like me saying that, but it's true. It's like I feel like had I not gone through the bullying I did, I don't think I would have had thick skin for when I had an MS diagnosis. So I kind of just pushed through and I was like, yeah, if I got through that, I could get through this too. But this time I actually wanted to be alive too. And multiple sclerosis, one good thing that came out of that is just the fact that it made me value my life. Because when I was going through bullying, when I was going through those
Wow.
suicidal thoughts, I didn't value my life. And yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no, that's it's oftentimes we talk about how we even did a whole episode on how MS saved our lives, and that fits right into it because, like you said, it gives you that perspective where you're like, you know what, it is my life, it is something I can take charge of and be in control of, even though I have this horribly debilitating, you know, disease.
First of all, let me just say that your connection right now is like our MS. I think your
Yeah,
myelin is
Sorry, can
disrupted.
I just cut you off for a second?
You cut everyone off. Go for it.
I blame MS. My nurse says it's because of MS. I didn't know. I can't control my emotions, so I'll start laughing and crying for absolutely no reason. So don't be surprised if I end up laughing when nothing that you say is funny. It's just MS does this. Yeah.
I've heard that before. Just trust me. And no one would understand that. They're like, you know,
Oh
um,
yeah. It's like even with the crying. Sorry, I totally cut you off, but even with the crying, it's like someone would be talking about something completely irrelevant. It's not even a sad or funny story, and they're like, "Why are you crying?" And it's like, "Oh, it's that time of month again." Because it's like if I say that, they will understand. But if I say it's because of my disease, they'll be like, "Huh?" So it's annoying.
and just so you know, when I started this, I told Nick, we're going to be interrupting each other a lot today. Did I not say that? So you're good.
totally fine, totally fine.
You mentioned incontinence. I didn't want to bring that in the beginning because that got you like the fact that you did that, so much awareness. And I don't know, I kind of do. I facilitate groups for support and I show my vulnerable side where I tell stories about how I peed myself and I show real vulnerability and people gravitate. They're like, "Oh my God, thanks for sharing that." And then I look at you and I'm like, "Man, I'm not even that vulnerable compared to you. I think I am. I thought I was, but then I watch the videos and I'm like, man, you put me to shame on how vulnerable and open you are, and it's
But
just
I mean, I wouldn't belittle the things you're going through just because you're comparing yourself to me. Like, I still feel like it's such a hard thing to kind of have to deal with as an adult. And yeah, it's just, mm.
there's a couple of things you say that is amazing. Happily in control.
It's because in controls, the diaper company. So for me, with dealing with incontinence, it was really hard because I started going through it when I was around 19. And I'll go on dates and stuff like that with a wet bum, and it just looked really bad because it's like when I thought someone was cute or whatever, it's like it didn't really matter because I was the one that ended up with a wet bum because I peed or sometimes even took a shit in my underwear. It was traumatizing. It's weird because whenever I talk about this, people are like, "How are you saying it like it's nothing?" And it's like because we all take a shit at the end of the day, right? So yeah, it was,
True.
yeah.
I, I don't take shits, but so you're awesome. Like I can't even, I have so much stuff written here. First of all, were you studying to be an architect? not to go on a side note
You
or
know
whatever.
what? I was
Huh.
watching your guys' podcast and I noticed how you go all the way to the bottom of everyone's Instagram on the thing. I really pay attention to the little things. So I remember going back to my Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, what should I delete? I don't want Terry to call me out.
No, no, no.
Stupid.
Oh, I did research.
But
Don't worry.
I knew you were gonna call me out the architecture thing. I didn't want to go into architecture, then I realized it involved physics. Science wasn't my thing. And university, psychology was what I failed. So yeah.
I was a physics guy. I was
Um,
in engineering. I never finished, but I was in engineering. And people are like, really? It's like, yeah, relax. I got
no, like that's a
2 years.
huge deal. I don't know how you did it either.
I slept a lot. Not in the, yeah, sometimes. Anyway, I don't know if that was my MS because I didn't have MS at the time, but I was always tired. And then people are like, you don't sleep enough. I'm like, maybe that's what it is. Now I'm like, no, I clearly had something going on because I
Yeah,
was always tired.
yeah.
Um,
What do you think I went to college for?
I have a feeling you went into psychology. I
What do you
only
think, Terry?
think this. Oh, sorry.
No,
no,
you're
no,
good.
no, dude, interrupt. It's fine.
I was like,
Something.
I only think this because I remember Nick bringing up how his daughter did something. I could be wrong, something about psychology, something, and how she wanted Nick's stuff of his brain. So I think that's psychology she studied, and I was like, wow.
She is. Yep, that's what she went. That's what she's going to school for. What do you think, Terry? What do you think I went to college for?
I don't want to say anything. She seems like she listens more than me. Uh,
Well, I didn't. I never said on air. I don't think what I actually went for.
okay,
Take a guess.
I'm gonna guess to be a skydiver instructor.
I
No,
went
okay.
for communications. I wanted to be on the radio.
Oh, I think you told me this.
I think
Yeah,
you may
Yes,
have said that, but I don't know. I forget.
I might have said it, but it was a while ago.
man. Do,
Now
do,
I feel engineers and architects. Man, I don't know if I can keep up.
oh man, I feel like I'm a failure, but thanks.
Oh. Earlier you were talking about the happily control thing. In control. That's actually one of the slogans to In Control's diaper company. So I was like, is that what he's referring to? But then I was like, it's just interesting how it just all works out because it's like when I first sorry, when sent an email to North Shore, which is one of the diaper companies that's in America. I didn't think they would get back to me. I thought they'd think I was young and that I didn't know what I was fucking talking about because no one's talking about incontinence. So why is this young person talking about it? But I just felt like I had so much to offer. It's like that whole thing of when you apply for a job, you send in your resumes, but it's like with I didn't have a resume, but what I did have was everything I documented on my YouTube channel with incontinence because I focus so heavily on that because I just want to help people that going through incontinence because I know how hard it could be too. Um, and then I brought up the In Controls thing. So I reached out to In Control, sent them an email, and they got back to me. And I ended up doing a partnership with them. I went over there to film a video with them, and it was great. And then another company I also reached out to, which was North Shore, and when I reached out to them, I was also doing videos for them as well. So it was just really exciting too, because it's like, I don't think these two companies knew I was doing videos for both companies because I think that would have been a no-no. But I mean, they didn't ask me, so I didn't say anything. I'm just like, I'm just not going to say anything. But yeah, it was just really funny because one company would have all my videos and then a different company would have my videos too. And then I guess to other people, it's kind of like, whoa, why is Pree working with both companies? But it's like, yeah, I wasn't really thinking, but I mean, it worked out.
I I always thought there was just like depends. I didn't. I maybe the
Oh, that's
company,
garbage. Is that what
dude,
you're wearing
dude,
right now?
dude. I don't wear depends. No, no, I'm serious. No, no, I'm just joking. I was-
No,
But
wait,
I thought that's it. You go to the store, there's Depends and there's another company,
yeah.
whatever. I thought, okay, Depends is the mainstream one. It's the one that knows it all. And then watching your stuff, I'm like, whoa, what's that one? And the sizes. Remember one video you had like 9 different sizes?
Mhm.
Where Depends is like small, medium, large, or extra large, or something like
Oh,
that. It's like,
Carrie, if you're actually wearing the Depends, the North Shore, the In Controls feels premium quality. Like I'm not making it sound like I'm spoiled or anything like that. It's just when you're outside, with me, when I wore the Depends, I could smell my pee. Like it's not what I want to be smelling. And with the North Shore, with the In Controls, you don't smell any of that. Sure, it's uncomfortable when you poo in it, at least for me it was, but the pee just feels like water. It's whatever. But it's like you don't smell anything. And it's just that Depends like is complete garbage. And I just wish I had known that.
I, I have no idea because I was never open and like, what is out there for me? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, let me just get this. That will work. You know what I mean? And I got questions for you. When you get these different brands and you're testing them out, do you wear them and pee in it to test it out?
Yeah, so when I would just honestly wear them for one day just because a lot of them were a little too big for me. No one makes anything in extra smalls. So I would have to be sitting there wearing like a small or a medium-sized diaper. And yeah, so if I need to go to the bathroom, instead of going to the bathroom, I'll just pee in my diaper because I'll be at home anyways. And then I'll just give a review based off of that because yeah, unless it was an extra small diaper, then I'd actually be wearing it outside and then yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. I'm like, seriously, because when I had it, and I'm like, okay, I don't know, how does this work? If I'm in public and by mistake I have to go, not by mistake, if I have to go and I can't hold it, is it going to hold it? I should test this stuff out before I use it. But it's just, you know what I mean? It's just being comfortable to, I don't know.
I
Again,
feel like I okay, look at oh man. I really like North Shore and In Controls, but honestly, North Shore is kind of a little bit higher up there for me. But I think you might like North Shore. I don't know actually. I think you'll like North Shore, but I like In Controls too. In Controls feels a little bit more thicker for me, but that's maybe because they did extra smalls. A lot of people do anything in extra smalls. So yeah, yeah. I feel like you should try it out. I
I want
just
to look, I want to
changing.
look them up. I'm going to bother you after and say, can you give me, I want to make sure it's conveniently there for me though. I don't know if it's something like,
You can
like
wear it for 8 hours. Depends. You wear it for 30 minutes and you need to go change.
You're so cool. Do you get it on Amazon?
Um, sorry, what are we talking about again?
The company Nurture, what is it called? I don't even. Don't make fun of me. Is that what it
Sorry,
is,
sorry,
or
no.
is that
North Shore, North Shore.
no Nurture?
Yeah.
Nurture.
It was from the website. Yeah. It's
Okay,
not on Amazon in Canada. It's really annoying. It might be in America, but it's a lot of the shipping cost is excessive. But In Controls is Canadian, so you can find it on Amazon, but it's also in Canada too. So it might be easier to get your hands on those. But yeah.
okay, cool. Um, she's from Toronto, by the way. Toronto. I moved to London, Ontario from Toronto like 5 years ago.
No.
And why? Because I've said this so many times, because I knew my legs were going, so I was going to be in a chair. And all my friends didn't really understand what MS was. And they saw the cane, they'd be like, and I should have been using the cane and the walker like you use. I don't know what you said, man. You say, see how my mind works right now? I'm pulling up so much stuff from your videos, but you said something embracing humility and self awareness with your physical disability, and you're using your walker, and in the end of your walker you turned and then you laughed, that genuine laugh. I'm like, yeah.
That was a moment where I was like, wow, if I had this in university, I actually got myself a rollator because I've been saving up for it. And I really like this one because it matches my cane. And it just makes me feel happy because it's not like an ugly looking rollator. It's rose gold. And my cane is rose gold too. Like, I feel like I don't fear being outside anymore. Like, it's like with wearing diapers, I don't fear being out anymore. But then it was the walking that was just always like, I'd always be the idiot to fall on sidewalks and even in the middle of streets crossing no one would get out of the car to help me. I'm like, wow, okay. But yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's
That is.
like, I mean, when I had an incident where I fell off my chair right in the beginning of the intersection because the curb, I lifted my front wheel and it came down as the curb was there. So it knocked me out of my chair
Mhm,
and I was fine. I tell this story to so many people. Like, I put my hand up because I'm thinking people are rushing to me. So
mhm.
I kind of want to be like, I'm okay,
Yeah.
right? So I'm on the floor, I'm like, I'm okay. And then I'm getting up in my chair and I'm balancing. And but as soon as I sit in my chair, I get up again. I'm like, and then I look around, I'm like, nobody cares that I
I
fell.
know.
And I'm looking at the cars and I'm looking in the window to be like, did anyone even stare? And they're all like looking like this and just drive.
Yeah. But to
But
give
what
the benefit of the doubt, though, I feel like a lot of times people just don't know what to do because they don't want to offend the person that just got hurt. So I feel like it could also be that, but at the same time, like, I mean, if you got out of the car, that would have been cute, but okay, no, you didn't. So
What about open the window and say, yo,
yeah,
yo.
exactly.
I want to know about um, your online presence, and I want to know, have you gotten any direct feedback from your viewers and your followers that has made an impact on what you're doing and how you're expressing things?
My subscribers make me feel less alone. They make me like it's like my subscribers, it's like they feel like family to me too, even with the ones that don't have MS, because I feel like MSers feel like family to me as well. But it's just, sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure, no problem. Um, if if you've gotten any direct feedback from the content you're putting out on your platforms.
Okay, so a lot of positive feedback. I don't really get people giving me a hard time. With posting videos on diaper try-ons and stuff like that, people could take it the wrong way and kind of say inappropriate things, and then people get really upset with that, and then they're like, "Don't ever say something like that to Pree." But it's like they stick up for me. So again, it just feels like they're my community feels like family. They feel like friends to me, even though I don't really get to see them in person. But it just makes me feel less alone. And then kind of goes back to the bullying, where it's like, wow, I just never knew I'd have this many friends. So it just everything feels great. Yeah.
Yeah, that and they're genuine friends because they don't want anything except for the best for you. So
Yeah,
that's nice.
exactly.
Good to hear that because I know the internet can be a rough place.
That's crazy, man. They're just trying to get a reaction out of you. I know we all say the same thing, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I, that's crazy. And especially if you have a video that has a lot of views, you're gonna get a lot more
Oh yeah.
assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I've also heard Liam talk about the crap gap. So I was like, oh, other people's that's in the UK. They've heard about it too. So it's not just everyone
I
knows what the
told you.
crap gap is except for Terry. Okay. And
Oh
by the
wow,
way,
you didn't know what it was?
no, he said it. He said it, and I'm like, what the hell are you saying, bro? He's like, crap gap. It's when this happens. I'm like, okay, never heard of that before.
It's
But
like it's like I would say the crap gap. I start feeling that when I'm waiting for my infusion because I'm on Ocrevus right now, and you only get that once every 6 months, right? So twice a year. And usually Nick mentioned it. See, my memory is so garbage, but when you guys are talking, it's like I remember everything. Nick mentioned this thing about how with crap gap, I forgot what I was fucking saying. Sorry, can you say what you were gonna say? You were saying something and I remembered something.
it's
Can you repeat
okay.
what you said?
I didn't know what crap gap was, and you started explaining it.
All right. Because with crap gap, it's like feeling like Nick said it, where he was just like, hold on. So
It's
fucking
okay. Yo, you're so cool. Don't
um
worry.
Nick says that with crap gap. Hold on, Nick. I remember this. Hold on.
She's a big fan of ours too, as I
No,
am with
I
her.
really am.
That's
Like
good.
it's
I know, I see
on
you.
Wednesdays at
I
1
know.
the video's gonna go up and I'm gonna be on it. Like stop.
No, when I was talking about
Yeah.
crap gap, I was talking about how, you feel sluggish, you feel like you're not yourself because you literally I didn't believe it was true the first time I took Ocrevus, and then I was like, nah, there's no way. And then one week I just felt like I was run down. I felt like I couldn't get out of my own way. I couldn't. It just felt like I didn't have any medicine on board anymore, and
Yeah.
that's when I realized it was actually real.
Yeah.
So.
It's like yeah, it's like even with Ocrevus too, it's like usually after my 4th month of not getting the infusion, I just feel like things go downhill for me. My vision too, like it's like, am I looking at Nick or am I looking at Terry? Honestly, I don't even fucking know. My pupils don't align.
I have questions about that
Like,
too.
oh, that's
Totally.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. First of all, you say Ocrevus. Nick, you say Ocrevus.
I heard you say that too, and I cringed a little. I said Ocrevus, and that's how people in the UK say it from when I
I don't
learned
know.
William.
We're
But
all on Ocrevus. We're all Ocrevus family
wait,
here.
wait, hold up. Nick
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
oh my, okay, so I'm gonna get my infusion. I'm going through excuse me, crap gap right now.
Yeah.
My nurse person told me I could have my infusion at the end of September, and I was like, no, 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 not end of September. In my head, I'm thinking I need to be on this podcast with Nick and Terry. So I was prioritizing that. And with prioritizing that, I have never done that for anyone before. Like I had always put my
Yo,
infusion before everyone else.
don't
But
make us feel guilty. Jeez.
no, I didn't have, honestly, I didn't want to say this too because I was like, I think you guys are gonna feel guilty. I don't want you to feel guilty because I feel fine. My eyes are kind of looking everywhere, but it's fine. I get my infusion on Tuesday, so it's coming, so it's fine.
Oh, there you go.
It's
Yeah.
called
There you go.
nystagmus. I learned this from you. I know I should be knowing this stuff before, but nystagmus. Have you heard this before, Nick? Now you go, oh yeah, of course I heard this before.
I have it.
Okay,
My
good, good.
my left eye wiggles when I look
Sometimes
there.
I want to ask you, did you see it coming before you saw it? Because sometimes in the mirror, I'm like, something happened. This is like maybe a year ago. I'm like, something happened with my eye. I thought this one was looking there for a second. And so, and then you're talking about it. You called it nystagmus. I'm like, is this a thing with MS? And
Yeah.
and you have color issues.
No, I don't.
What do you
Wait, do I?
mean?
I don't.
Okay, okay. Maybe you mentioned something about the white the white
Oh, right.
text.
When
Oh
I
my
think it was in
God.
my MS journey video, I did talk about it.
Yeah.
It is harder reading white text on top of color. I totally forgot. I made
Okay. No.
everything like black just so I could see it properly. But yeah.
When I read a piece of paper that's printed out from a computer, I can't read the black text on the white paper. It all goes gray. I can't
Oh.
see anything unless it's like super big font.
Mhm.
So so I understand how hard it is to like I could read a stop sign, but looking down here, it just gets tough from time to time.
Mhm.
I have color issues when it's not enough lighting. So if it's
Light
dark,
sensitivity is a part of nystagmus too, though.
oh, wow.
I think it's that
Okay.
nystagmus. Yeah. Um, it's really annoying because I was looking at the rollator, and then you can get a warranty, like a lifetime warranty. You guys have a what lifetime warranty for your rollators for your wheelchairs?
I guess so. I don't
Okay,
think
because I
so.
was like,
I do.
You do? Okay. We'll talk about that after.
Me? Yeah, and I have insurance on it too.
oh yay.
Okay.
I brought that up because I was like, with the vision, it's like you have to write down the numbers to approve or whatever of the warranty, but it's like in like 2 point font in like black.
Uh,
I was like, how the fuck are you supposed to read that? So then I'm always a person that always takes pictures of things just so I could zoom into words because I can't see things. And also, Nick, are you blind in your left eye? I think I remember you saying that, but I forget.
partial vision loss on the left side. Yep.
Sorry, was that the wrong word to use? I wasn't sure.
No,
It was
no,
from
no.
no, you're fine. But yeah, I have diminished vision on the left side because of a flare up I had 10 years ago and it never 10, 13 years ago and it never recovered. So it's one of those things
Oh,
that happens, right?
yeah.
And there's nothing you can say here that's like wrong. Trust me.
Mm-mm, no.
It's just, I feel
So,
like I'm always saying sorry
And
a lot, and then people are always like, "Oh, it's because you're Canadian." And it's like Canadians don't always say sorry. Don't let that fool you. But
I get it. I get it.
Nick, you were talking about something, and now I forgot what I was talking about PCC for. All right, for Zoom. Teachers College. Teachers College was time COVID broke out. And when COVID broke out, everything was scary because no one was going outside. So Teachers College was on Zoom. And then even with the little kids, I was teaching kids in Teachers College. And it was really difficult because of my nystagmus and my double vision. I couldn't really see things, right? And this is on Zoom, right? You would think that on Zoom you could fucking zoom into Zoom, but you can't zoom into Zoom. And then when you look at the conversation thing, you can't zoom into the words. I would get so frustrated. It was really upsetting for me because I was like, what the heck? But yeah. So I had PTSD when I realized it was on Zoom because I'm like, I'm hoping
Oh,
Nick and Terry don't create a chat in the thing because I'm like, I'm gonna have a hard time reading that. But yeah.
no, thanks for telling me. We don't, but thanks for telling me. Like,
no,
It's
yeah.
like when you
yes, I wrote while you're in the waiting room.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
literally up close to my camera.
Oh man, I'm
What did
so
that
sorry.
say? But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's more embarrassing though on Zoom when everyone can see you, especially the little kids, because they're like, Miss P, are you having trouble with your vision? And it's like, yeah, I just can't see what it says in the chat. But it was, yeah, horrible.
Yeah. Have you heard of MS? I ask everybody this. When you got diagnosed, did you know what MS was?
I heard about MS ahead of time, but I never really looked much into it because I didn't think it was what I had. I just automatically diagnosed myself with a tumor because Google said I had a tumor. Google also said I was going to die, but here I am now, 7 years later, and Google
N-
lied. So,
That's
yeah.
another thing. You said that you legit, you thought you were gonna die.
Yeah.
because of the tumor. Like I was told, oh, it might be a tumor, it might be this, but I never said to myself like, oh, I'm gonna die. I was just like, I guess I don't know. I was in denial. But for
Yeah.
you to think that you're like, oh my God, it's a tumor, I'm on my way to die or whatever, that's pretty crazy to
I'm an
think.
overthinker too, but then also at the same time, because I was going through a lot with the bullying stuff, I was like, this is what I get. I couldn't value my life, and now my life is going to end so soon. And I just
Wow.
felt so stupid. Like, I remember going to bed every single night, not knowing if I was going to wake up the next morning. So I would always cry myself to sleep. And then, even being in university, it's like, there were exams, there was tests, and I would walk in without studying for them because I'm like, well, if I'm going to die tomorrow, why am I studying for this? But yeah.
I didn't study for exams, not because I thought I was going to die, just because I was an idiot. What other treatments did you do other than Ocrevus? Was Ocrevus the only one you tried?
Yeah, so Ocrevus got approved by the FDA in Canada on March 28th of 2017. I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I wrote this down on May
Oh, cool.
31st of 2017. And ironically, this was also on World MS Day. But that was the only day within the year that World MS Day happened to fall under, because every year after that, World MS Day is on May 30th. And I was like, wow, like that was quite ironic. But yeah.
First of all, I don't know why it moved from March. I agree with you. I knew it was March before and then it became May. I don't know if that's like because the walk, the MS walk is usually in May. So I don't know if that was Canada that pushed it to become in May because I know in the world they celebrate it in March. March is the MS awareness month in the States, in the UK, I think. But in Canada, it's in May. So I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Hmm.
Huh. I was looking at the time and I was like, man, it's like, I don't want the call to end. I like talking to you guys.
No, I'm trying to rush through this stuff because, like, anyway, go ahead, Nick, before I start cutting
What
you off.
um so what message do you have for your subscribers of hope and positivity that you would like to leave them with when they inevitably watch this on our show?
There's two things I want to say. One, this kind of goes for a question I thought Terry was going to ask. I wrote this down because
I'm not done. I don't know if you think you're ending it, Nick. I'm not done. Let's go.
okay, because I was like, I have a feeling Terry was gonna ask me this question where, sorry, hold on. Nick, can you repeat that question one more time?
I'm sorry.
Okay. I was just asking what message to your followers do you want to leave when they watch our show?
Oh, there's like so much I say. I thought I wrote this down. Okay, so I'm thinking two things. I'm only saying this because I feel like not a lot of people talk about incontinence, but I just feel like people who watch your guys' show may be going through incontinence too, and I think you should wear a diaper because it just it just it just helps a lot, and then also mobility aids. Just accept help. Just accept the help, whatever form it is, because it just goes a long way. And yeah.
No, no, be comfortable. I get you. And like yesterday, I went to a restaurant and it's on the street, and I'm like, I'm fine. And I am, right? And I know how to empty my bladder now. I've learned some stuff, techniques.
Oh,
So
you turn on the faucet too to remind you how to pee?
no, I know friends in the past, the faucet would be turned on. I'm like, as they sit down, I'm like, are you trying to cover your pee noise? You know what I mean? So that I don't hear the pee drizzle. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it helps me pee. I'm like, and I get it now. People put their finger under the faucet, and no, I have a way where I push into my bladder or whatever, and I trigger it. But
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. So when I went to the restaurant, which is down the street, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to wear it because um, the pens are not comfortable. I
You
mean,
know they're not.
they are when you're numb, so it's not like it's really, but you know what I'm saying, and the
I
sizing and all that stuff.
100%. You brought up the depends.
No,
It's like
go for it.
even this goes for Nick too. I don't know if you really experience incontinence, but just being someone who uses a wheelchair, isn't it more? Wouldn't it be more easy? I don't even know what it would feel like to be in a wheelchair, but wouldn't it be more easier to be sitting in a diaper than having to get out of the wheelchair every single time you use the toilet? Because I remember Terry talking about this in quite a few videos, talking about how much of a hassle that could be. And I think that was just your way of just saying you're incontinent, but without saying you're incontinent. And it's just, I just feel like not a lot of people are educated about the good diapers that are out there that you could wear for incontinence.
Do you
So
want
why not do that?
real talk? So I wear it, say I wear it, okay, and I'll go out at the restaurant. If I can make it to the washroom, I'll go to the washroom. Why I just don't do it where I'm sitting? Because afterwards, I feel like I have to clean up. Okay.
Because you're wearing the Depends, that's why.
So what you're saying, the other ones you don't have to clean up?
No, I
I'm
mean
not.
like to get
I
home clean up to avoid infections because with Ocrevus it kills our B cells, so we're prone to getting infections. But yeah,
And when
sorry.
I say clean up, no, it's okay. When I say clean up, I don't mean like there's pee everywhere. I
Mhm.
just mean like, you're so even though it doesn't, sorry, Nick, if I'm making this awkward for you, but even though
Not at all.
it's
That's what we do.
it's it's in there and it like really grabs it, it's really cool. Like I don't want to sit in it because of what you're saying too, right? And even if it doesn't smell, because sometimes I'm like, oh, my body's still fine.
Mhm.
I still need to clean up. I still need to shower. And my standing strength is I'm done. So I
Yeah.
have to transfer. So anytime I, I always try to take it easy on my whole day. So if I can just, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If I
no,
could just take away from that having to clean up after, you know,
but I think it's also like that's exactly how I felt before wearing diapers, where I was like, no, I want to use the bathroom when I can use the bathroom. But it's like sometimes, again, it's about accepting help when you need it without realizing that you actually need it. Um, but at the same time, I don't, yeah, I sorry if that offended you or
no,
anything.
not at all, man.
Okay.
Nothing here
No.
offends me. You can say anything you want, dude. Trust me. And I get it. Sometimes I have an ego. You have put your pride to the side. I envy you. Because
Oh,
I've been telling everybody I put my pride to the side already. I'm good. But there's still things that I'm like, hey, and I start acting like an idiot talking about it because I'm embarrassed, you know? So I hear anything you say, any tips you have for me, just shoot them out. Okay.
yeah.
So I get it. And there is some times when I wear it just to be comfortable so that I don't have to worry about that aspect in case something happens, you know.
But the thing is, though, like since you're a guy and I'm a lady, it's like we have different parts down there. So I could see it being even more uncomfortable for you guys because what if I think it would get stuck in places, whereas with ladies, it doesn't get stuck anywhere. So I could see why guys would lean away from wearing that because it'd be uncomfortable.
You got to position stuff.
Yeah.
So if there's a night where I'm like, wow, I've never revealed this much. Like, I don't care really, but there's times when and I'm going to sleep. I'm like, yeah, it's not a good day. It's not a good night. I'm going to protect myself. But when you're lying down and you cross your legs and the way I sleep, I'm like, oh, I got to position to make sure it's not sticking out. Because
Mhm.
there's times when I have peed myself and I'm like, it's like not even in the pen. I'm like, oh my God, what happened there?
Oh.
And I'm like, so.
You know what? Also, sorry. You know what made me feel like I appreciated having incontinence was I don't know if have you guys ever experienced urinary retention?
Um,
Mm-mm.
no,
I
not
can't
really.
say I have.
And I'm not, it's not a pride thing. Like if I did, I would say it. But I think in the
Because
beginning, it took an extra 10 seconds for it to come out. In
Mhm.
the very beginning of my MS. And no, anyway, please.
I brought that up because last year, early last year, I forgot how to pee because of MS. But then MS likes to give me incontinence too, so it gives me the complete opposite problem to what urinary retention. So it just pisses me off so much because it's like just give me one of the two. Why are you giving me both? So I ended up having a catheter for a couple of days, and that whole experience made me appreciate having incontinence wearing diapers because it was so much easier than having something up my crotch to help me pee because it was very uncomfortable. I remember in the past too, last year, a few guys said to me, "Oh, it's not that uncomfortable," and I was like, "Well, yeah, no, duh, you idiot. You have a dick. The catheter just has to sit on you. But for ladies, it's inside of our crotch. You have to position yourself in a way that it's more comfortable. And also, this reminds me of ladies. This reminds me of Kit Kat. Both of your people I really love their voices. It reminds me of my ex nurse. She retired after 5 years. I was really sad. And why I'm saying it reminds me of they remind me of her is because their voice just it's so soothing. Like I just really like when they talk because it's just like oh my gosh, it reminds me of my nurse and she retired and I cried and then she cried because I wrote her a card
Oh,
that was very long and then she cried and then I was like I'm sorry I didn't mean to do that but she's like oh you're so sweet but Yeah, I miss her, but honestly, that's the one person I wish she could come to my infusions with me at the clinic. That'd be so nice, but I think that'd be a little weird. She has a life, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I'm totally off topic. You were talking about one thing, and I'm
dude,
talking about something
off
else.
topic is my middle name, man. What's wrong with you? Brain fog happens with me a lot. Okay. So, if it happens to you, I'm like, oh, thank God it's not me this time. So, and y- if you said you were talking about Ocrevus, how you think it's working because you haven't gotten any relapses or whatever, and then people think you got better, and you're like, people think you're great because you haven't had any relapses, but you're
But I
still
still
dealing with your
like
shit.
yeah, it's like my nystagmus actually feels like it's gotten worse. I feel like I notice it a lot more now. My walking is just about the same, but it goes back to this whole thing of when I got diagnosed when I was 19. It's like, am I really, maybe I'm just not relapsing, and maybe I'm just thinking I am because it's like right now I'm at a point in my life where it's like I've learned to adapt to everything as opposed to when I was 19 first going through MS, I didn't know how to deal with things. So I also forgot what the fuck I was saying. I was going somewhere with this. I don't remember.
Okay, so first of all, I I've said this before. I should have used an aid. I should have used the walker. I used the cane because I'm like, but that looks cool, right? And I
Mhm.
used to use the cane like a crutch. So I used to use it to keep me up, right? So my shoulders were taking a lot of impact, and I should have used the walker, but I had pride where I'm like, no, a walker looks stupid. You know what I
I thought
mean?
it looked so stupid too. With the cane, it doesn't help when I go hunched over after 5 minutes of walking, but the rollator does exactly that. And it was just like, wow. I wish I came across this earlier too. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too. I have a stand-up walker now, and I'm like, damn, this would have been so much better, but
Some people call it a rollator. I thought it was called a rollator because it has wheels. The walker doesn't have wheels, or either or. I don't know what it's called.
oh, okay, okay.
Because even on the website where I ordered it, it's called a rollator because wheels roll. And then there's walkers where it's like there's no wheels on
Oh
it.
yeah,
I was like, maybe it's yeah, different, I guess.
you're right. You're right. I know what you're talking about. Sometimes there's wheels in the back, but not in the front.
The
Or
walkers, I just thought it was so intimidating and ugly, and I was like, I don't need that. But when I saw the one with wheels with rose gold, I was like, ooh, that's cute. But yeah.
it's the whole image. It's what you
Uh,
think people are. My first time in a wheelchair, I imagined that people looked at me like I was not, I don't want to offend anyone, but like I had like mental issues. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
I'm like, no, 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 I have MS, just my legs are not working. But I went to Tim Hortons, a coffee shop, Nick. I know you. I'm just joking. I went to Tim Hortons, and my first time ever I think, yeah, so I took the wheelchair. My first time ever, I'm in line, and the lady, when it was my turn next, she looked behind me to the guy behind me right here and said, "Can I help you?" And then I went, "Oh," like a little child. I was like, "Oh,
Oh
oh,
yeah, you talked about this in your video where they look down at you
I
like,
don't, I
oh,
don't remember
can
what I
I help
talk about."
you?
So I don't, I forget half the time when I'm like, did I say this already?
No,
I
you did.
must have, but yeah. And you look behind me and I'm like, what about me? And she's like, oh,
Oh,
well, what can I get for you? I'm like, this little boy wants a.
yeah.
So and then
That's
that turned
nice.
me off. That day I actually went home and I actually cried. I'm like, this is
Aw.
how it's going to be forever. And then, but that was because I had no confidence or whatever. It still happens from time to time when I'm like, why is this person talking to me like that?
Mhm.
And then, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Uh, Life would have been so much easier
Yeah.
if I have accepted it and had support. I don't think I had enough support,
Yeah.
And if I put myself out there like you do, I think a lot, and I do now. I do with the MS Society and all that stuff, and I get a lot of support because I put myself out there.
Mhm.
So that's why I say you're ahead of the game.
It's like it was difficult though, because when I posted my very first video on YouTube, which was on my multiple sclerosis journey, that was in 2018. Even when I did that, I was so scared because people around me were like, "Don't be stupid. You're in your second year in university. Your future manager is gonna think you're an expense, and then you're gonna become liable. Don't post this video." And I did exactly that. When people tell me not to do something, I'll just do it because it's like I don't know. I just like testing things out. So I did it and I was scared, and people were giving me so much support. Like that video that I thought would only get 16 views on now has 16K. And it's like a lot of people support me, not just for that one video, but because I put my voice out there where people could relate to you. And I'm sure you could relate to that too, where it's like you share your struggles, people can relate to that. And they gain this respect for you for just being so open about something no one wants to be open about.
Yeah, that's very true.
I have no
I was
words.
very surprised. I was very pleasantly surprised at how many positive messages we get, and I was terrified to say very personal things on the show here, but I'm glad I did because who knew there were that many people out there who needed to connect.
Mhm.
Yeah, at first we just we were doing the whole audio thing because I don't know, I didn't want to be like, this is the guy that's, this is the face when I talk about peeing myself. And, it was kind of like hidden, like, yes, guys, no one knows what I look like. It was a lot easier that way. But now
But you
we're,
know what? No, I just think it's a lot easier. Maybe I shouldn't say it like this. I think it's a lot easier being a lady because you wear a diaper. People are like, oh, that's cute. But if a man's wearing a diaper, it's like, okay, get your shit together. What are you doing? So it's like people will look at men weirder because they should be like the more manly figure, but it shouldn't be that way. And I hate that the world works that way.
I appreciate you for saying that. I appreciate you for saying that. I have good support next to me now that I'm okay. But if I didn't, I think I would have still been on that train of like denying it or acting like I'm okay and all that crap.
Oh no, like I feel like it's a lot harder for guys with incontinence. Like I would say this on my videos on YouTube, but I don't want to offend anyone. So it is true. I feel like guys do have it harder because people just always have things to say about men when they kind of express a vulnerable side to them, and it's not fair that it works that way.
Have you ever met Dawn Marie? Because I know you bought her
You
book,
know what?
Finding the Sun Through
She
the Clouds.
she asked I have that book actually.
What are you waiting
She
for?
asked me to be on her podcast when I was in university, and I kind of did what I did with you, Terry. The very first time you asked, I kind of like shrugged, like pushed it off because I was like, I'm not gonna be good on this podcast. So with Don Mary, because I was in university, I was thinking about so many things because I was also in a toxic relationship with this one guy, and then there's just so many things going on. So I kind of just brushed it off, and now I feel stupid because I've been on two podcasts. And I was like, I said no to Don Mary, but yeah.
No, 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 no. Yeah, we brought her on. I was on her show. She's awesome. You need to
No,
go
she is.
contact her for sure. Hers is not like every week. It's like every 4 months or something like that. But yeah, we are going to wrap it up shortly. I just have another couple questions. Did you teach at teachers college?
Yeah, so the first degree I did was in early childhood studies. So technically, it was like an educator aspect of things. In teachers college in Canada is 2 years long, but I got into a competitive program all while going through everything with MS. I like saying this with pride because no one got accepted. It was only like 20 or 25 people out of the 500 that were in the program. So sorry, what was your question?
Did you teach? In my mind, I'm
You
like,
answered it. You got it.
what did I?
You
Yeah, yeah.
got it.
Did you teach at teachers college?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Gotta give yourself more credit.
I was like, I'm hoping Nick remembers because we were screwed.
This is why I'm glad Nick's here all the time.
It's like, yeah, I taught in teachers college. There were times when this was at the time COVID broke out, so I didn't really get to see a lot of these kids in person. It was all online. But at a point, one of the placements I had was a grade 4 or 5 classroom, and I would go in, teach the whole day. We would only go in like twice a week, and then we had to have about 80 days that we would have to go in to teach, all while COVID was going on. And I'm the immunocompromised. Why the fuck was I want to be going to be going? But I just went because I just wanted the 2 degrees on my wall. So I just did it. And yeah, I taught, and it was honestly hard because my memory was garbage, but also social studies just wasn't my forte or just my subject. I don't know how to
Mhm.
read maps properly, so it's really embarrassing. Yeah.
I, dude, we need to bring her back because I have so many more questions that I'm just like, okay,
I agree.
And another thing, by the way, I'm the most awkward in ending conversations. I don't know
Oh
how to
yeah.
do it.
Oh, with Liam and I was laughing like,
So
oh.
this is what I do. I go, Nick,
Well, Pree, it was fantastic meeting you. we're so happy that you're fans of the show. We're so happy that you're on the show and you're doing amazing work. So anything we can do to help you, just reach out to Terry. He'll put it on the show. He'll link everything you would like to link, and we're definitely going to have you back sometime in the future.
It was,
She's
it was great being on. Honestly, this made my day. But yeah.
you're going. I hate when people say this. You're going to flourish. You're good. People will grab you onto their podcast. People want to
Yeah,
hear what you have to say.
there's big things ahead of you, no doubt. That's for sure.
And then one day you're gonna write a book. And then one day, I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But you are awesome. Please, I told Nick we're gonna have you as a regular guest, one of the many regular guests. Like you need to come back. You're part of the family.
Oh.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to be on. When Terry brought this up on a conversation yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought you guys would never ask. I haven't even been on yet, and Terry's already
wow.
asking me. But yeah.
All right, Nick. I'm so glad you got to meet her.
It was an absolute pleasure. I've been waiting for this one because I've been watching you on Instagram for a little while now. So it's absolutely my pleasure to have you. Terry, my friend, we'll talk to you again soon, brother.
Talk to you soon, man. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 letter T below zero.com. Or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are, for Nick's, it's Nix_V713. Or for Terry, it's What's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.